Hey everyone, this is Taylor with Front Range Christian Church, and today we're going to be looking at the lead guitar part for Found in You. This song's in the key of C at 118 BPM. I have a quarter note plus dotted eighth delay on my guitar that sounds like this. If you don't have that setting, that's okay. You can use a dotted eighth and that'll get you by. I've also got some reverb on there. Typical settings as far as gain goes, if I play lightly, it's clean, and if I play heavy, it gets pretty crunchy. So we'll go ahead and start with the intro. The intro is going to sound like this. And you're going to repeat that several times, however many times we decide to do it that weekend. But what it is you're starting with an F on the 10th fret. You're on the 4th string and the 2nd string on the 10th fret, which is in C and in A. Hit them each twice. Then you're sliding up to the 14th fret on the 4th string and the 13th fret on the 2nd string, which is an E and a C. And this will be for your A minor and your C chord. So we're going to stay there twice as long, and then we're coming down to the 12th fret on the 4th string and the 2nd string, which is a D and a B. So all together, again, it sounds like this. And that's going to be your intro, and that's going to be your turnaround, outro, everything in the song. If you go from one part of the song to the other one, you're going to play this part. So get used to it. Out of that intro, we're going to go into the first verse. And so for the first line of the verse, he just does some swells. So I usually just hit this C on the 2nd string, 1st fret, and then come down to an open string, the first line. The second line has this little deal. And so what I did there is I started with the 3rd fret of the 4th string, 3rd string open, 2nd string 1st fret, then same shape, just moving your from the 3rd fret to the 2nd fret on the 4th string, 3rd string open again, and 2nd string 1st fret, and then the 4th, 3rd, and 2nd strings all open. So all together it sounds like this. And then after that, we're going to go into the second half of the verse where the part is really similar to the intro. You just make the change a little bit quicker. So it goes like this, starting on the 10th fret. So the same shapes, we're just changing it a little bit different of a pace. 10th fret on the 4th and 2nd strings. 14th on the 4th, and then 13th on the 2nd string. And instead of staying there for another bar, we're going to come back down to the 12th fret and stay there for 2 bars. And that's the 4th string and 2nd string on the 12th fret. So you'll play that twice through the second part of the verse into the chorus. And I'll go ahead and play all of verse 1 for you so you can see what it's going to sound like. 1, 2, 3, 4. From there, you're going to go into the first chorus. So for the chorus, we're going to be hanging around 3 main shapes. And so the first one is a C, and this is going to be your C and your A minor. So it's on the 9th fret of the 3rd string with an E, then the 8th fret of the 1st and 2nd string, which is a C and a G. That's your C. And then your F is going to be the same thing. Just throw your ring finger onto the 10th fret of the 3rd string. And so you'll have 10th fret of the 3rd string with an F, and then 1st and 2nd string, 8th fret with the C and the G still. So technically not an F major chord, but it works. Then we're going to go to an A minor, but like I said, we're using our C shape for that, so just pulling that ring finger back off and having the 9th fret of the 3rd string and then the 8th fret of the 1st and 2nd. And then we're going to go to a G, which is on the 7th fret of the 3rd string, the 8th fret of the 2nd string, and the 7th fret of the 1st string, which gives you a D, a G, and a B for your G major chord. And so the rest of the band is going to be coming down for this part of the song, but on the first chorus, the electric guitar is still pretty strong. And so you're strumming big chords, and you want these to kind of wash together. And so you want to get a decent amount of gain, but not too crunchy. But so it's going to sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to go back into that turnaround just like the intro. After the intro, we're going to go into verse 2. And so verse 2, instead of starting smaller like we did before, we're going to go ahead and start on the progression that was similar to the intro. And so it goes like this. So that's the same thing we played for the second half of verse 1, and we're going to play it 2 times for the first half of verse 2. And then at the second half of verse 2, we're going to play something really similar, but it just adds a note to each part. And so same chord shapes, but it's going to go like this. So what I'm doing there is I'm starting on the 10th fret of the 4th and 2nd strings, doing the same thing we usually do. But instead of hitting the 2nd string the second time, I'm coming up to the 1st string on the 12th fret and hitting that E. So it goes like this. Then you're going to slide up to the similar shape that we've had before on the 14th fret of the 4th string and the 13th fret of the 2nd string. Same pattern. So we're going to do this, and then we're going to hit the 15th fret of the 1st string for that G right there. Then we're coming down to the 12th fret of the 4th and 2nd strings, and then we're implementing that E again on the 12th fret of the 1st string, and then hitting the 2nd string on the 12th fret again. So that sounds like this. So altogether, this is what the second verse will sound like. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then after that, we go into the second chorus, which is just like the first chorus, except for the rest of the band is going to be big as well. After the second chorus, we're going to go back into the turnaround, which is just like the intro. And then after that, we're going to go into the bridge. And so for the bridge, we're going to switch to a quarter note delay, and we're going to be playing a little funk part there. I'm going to turn the delay off for now so you can just hear the part. This is what it's going to sound like, the main part. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it'll switch shapes and do the same pattern and sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so this is a kind of funk pattern. You really have to get the feel for it, so you'll probably have to practice a little bit. I don't have the most funky style, and so it took me a little bit to make this sound all right. And I probably don't even play it the same way he does. But if you get kind of that kind of vibe going, it'll work. And what you're doing, you're switching between two main shapes. For the first part, you're starting on the 17th fret of the first two strings, and then switching between that and the 17th fret of the second string and the 15th fret of the first string. So those are two shapes you're switching back and forth between, and just find a pattern that works for you, that sounds all right. And so for me, I put a quarter note delay on it, and it sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. And it sounds good when you kind of slide off at the end there. And then the second shape you do, once you start switching shapes, when the bridge is building, the second time you go through the bridge, you're switching between the 13th fret of the second string and the 12th fret of the second string, and you're leaving the 15th fret down the whole time. So these two shapes. And so all together that sounds like this. So that's the bridge, and after the bridge we're going to go into the chorus again, which is a down chorus, but again the electric guitar is going to stay fairly big. Turn your normal delay back on, and so what we're going to do is we're just going to hit big fat chords, the same chords we've been hitting the whole time. We're going to hit them hard and let them ring out on whole notes. And so same chords in the chorus, it'll sound like this. Then we're going to go into another big chorus where we're strumming them all the way through, and then we're going to go into the intro turnaround lead part, and then we're done with the song.